Hello everybody, I'm Lori. Welcome back to Milkweeds and Roses Gardener. Well, here I am, another beautiful spring day in my Zone 5B garden. And this is finally, even though we've had some overnight temperatures in the 40s, in the low 40s, the soil is still warm enough to plant some seeds, some vegetable seeds, and bring out the tropicals and really get growing. That's why I've got a marigold in my hands. This is almost like, yeah, you maybe have heard that old standard tale about growing marigolds near vegetable crops. I've done that. I don't know if it actually makes a difference, but you know, it makes the bare legs of the plants that are growing look a little better. Not to mention some of the scent does thwart off rabbits. And apparently it makes a difference too for some of the other damaging pests that come for your vegetables. So armed with my marigold, I've got more planting to do. And also, this is a good time to start certainly staking up and attaching my climbing plants to their trellises to give support to dahlias and some things that are going to grow quite a bit larger and will need some help. In short, it's just a busy time. I don't know how it looks in your garden right now, but it's certainly looking great in mine. Let's take a look. Chalk off some things off of our to-do list, shall we? Okay, come along.
For starters, I have limited space that has enough sun to grow vegetables, and it's where I grow roses and my geraniums on the steps here. I don't have a railing, so it's kind of like a visual railing. So here's my tomato tower, and I have the marigolds in there, and I make sure to keep my tags tucked in now so I can remember where they are. So I have other companion plants to thwart diggers and squirrels. One of them is Italian oregano. The other is nasturtium, which is Empress of India. This will be a nice, pretty climbing the trellis here and thwarting any sort of diggers and things that might come up to disturb the roots or maybe even take a nibble. So this is the tomato tower that I have, and this is the reason that I have to go through all the trouble. This is an eastern chipmunk. They have a litter a year, 3 to 5 pups, and they do an awful lot of damage to the containers in my garden. Yes, they are cute, and I wouldn't want to poison them, but yeah, that means cages on my tomatoes. This is Wild Fred, which has been grown from a seedling that I got at my garden group. Some very talented folks who know a lot more about this stuff. But I just keep it caged and have planted marigolds in here as a good companion plant until Fred gets big enough. He's an indeterminate tomato with purple fruits, so it will be interesting. I also have my herb planter, which I grow in containers every year because I have it on a wheelie that I can move around to a sunny spot if need be. And again, I tuck the tags in. So I have basil. I also have mint, which ought to always be grown in a container. It'll take off on you. And then I have thyme. Smells so great. And again, I keep it close to the cooker. Same thing as a basil. This is just a pretty basil. And that way, when my husband, who does the cooking, can snip off a few leaves for whatever he's putting together. Now, the dianthus smells like cinnamon, and clove is just there for looks and for scent. And this is a little seedling that I grew in the basement that's going to take off, a type of salvia. So, again, just something with a good scent that all repels insects, good companion plants for vegetables and for herbs. I have some onion starts, very few, in a strawberry container, along with some, I have some alyssum, 2 strawberry plants. Alyssum is a good companion plant to thwart the types of bugs that go after them. I also have some catmint, or some catgrass growing in there. And this is my lime tree. No, this is my disco ball tree. It grows disco balls. Isn't that amazing? I think it'll be a couple years before I see limes on this. I attached these when it was in the house for the winter, for Christmas, and I like the way they catch the light. So I just keep them on my lime tree. And I am growing a certain heirloom carrot, very old type of carrot, and an old radish. This is going to be the pot that I grow them in. Again, it's on wheels. Dirt is new, so that I can roll it around to catch the sun. And an unusual type of radish here, which I thought would be interesting. And these take up a small amount of space, that type of carrot. So I thought this container, which is big, would be perfect. Also now on to tying up vines and flowering things to give them more support. And I came across these old hair clips of my daughter's that she isn't going to use again. She left them behind. They're an indiscreet way to clip up my Tangutica clematis, which is sprawling all over the place now. And the weight can actually break the branches. I do want it to grow over this arbor, so I'm clipping these stray branches up out of the way so that I can easily walk under this arbor without getting sideswiped by the Tangutica. But I think, again, just keeping them secure, supporting them so that these vines don't break under the weight, because clematis really are fairly fragile. You get too much sway and too much movement. A big wind or a harsh rainstorm can knock them down. So I'm looking at different ways to shore up my clematis. And one way is to get them to, now here's more hair clips to keep it from in place on the fence. And I originally used to just do chicken wire. It's very pokey, but it wasn't supporting them all the way up. So I've added some galvanized chicken wire and attached it to the fence. And she likes it. She's climbing. She grabs on herself. So rather than miss the blooms this year, I think I'll actually see them.
Thanks for joining me. That's it for this episode of the Milkweeds and Roses Gardener. So much more to do, but isn't it exciting? I look forward to each and every task. I hope you do too. And I do hope that you subscribe to this channel. I hope you like the video. Let me know how things are growing in your little corner of heaven. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.